This is clearly a parody and not intended for kids. Viewer discretion advised. Story Time with Tom Foolery presents Mum's Great Tits, written by Jen Jenivive. Mum has a pair of great tits. They're small in size and cute. Why is everyone obsessed with them? I really can't compute. Mum calls them her girls, more precious than her string of pearls. When she lets them out of their cage, my dad is always the first to engage. Once they're out, they flap about. Dad watches the girls, there is no doubt. Sometimes they flap up to Dad's snout. I don't know what that's about. Mum is very proud of her great tits. One day my Aunt Marie came to visit. "Put your tits away. You don't always have to have them on display." Although they were small, they were hard to contain. "I can't put them away, Marie. They just like being free." Mum took her great tits to work. She said they made her boss smirk. She'd only been working there a few days, and already her boss had given her a raise. Dad was a happy chap. There's no denying. The girls were always out, flapping about. The bird holder was pointless in buying. Sometimes her great tits were in her hands. Sometimes her great tits wore expensive brands. Sometimes Mum would link them together with a chain. Sometimes they would make a mess and drain. Sometimes Mum would take selfies with the girls. Sometimes Dad would treat the girls to strings of pearls. Sometimes the girls looked a different size. Sometimes they caught the attention of girls and guys. Her girls were with her all the time. Out with her on the school run, it was a crime. Dad and the girls had some fun playtime. Sometimes Dad covered the girls in slime. Mum would hug them tight, give them a good old squeeze, free them, and let them enjoy the breeze. Eventually, Aunt Marie grew tired. "You always have your great tits in your clasp. You've forgotten about your fluffy pussycat." Her words were true. Mum's pussycat was feeling blue. It's clear, Mum's favourite was selected. Her pussycat was feeling neglected. Dad noticed Mum's pussycat looking sad. He remembered the good times they had had. He used to play with the pussycat on the floor. The pussycat always came back for more. Dad put in the extra graft. Soon he treated the pussycat to some balls and a toy shaft. Mum's pussycat was no longer lonely. Dad was her one and only. Mum noticed Dad's endeavour. She knew she had to be clever, to think of a way to include her great tits in their play. Mum did some research online, how to play with great tits and a feline. It turns out it can be done, And that's when the story really begun. Mum said some of the results were spicy, and some of the toys can be a bit pricey. For her and Dad, she found some great tips on how to play with her pussycat and great tits. Every great tits story comes with a happy ending. Mum and Dad were happily spending much more time with Mum's pussycat and her great tits. Harmony was restored in our house, I'll admit. Except for my Aunt Marie. Mum said it was because she wasn't getting any. I heard Mum say to Dad, "Marie needs to flick her bean." I don't really know what that means. The flicked end. Mum's Great Tits. Written by Jen Jenivive. Narrated by Tom Foolery. A very special thank you once again to Jen Jenivive for sending us this release. More coming soon from her. Be sure to check her out on TikTok and Instagram. Buy her books. So there's a magician on a cruise ship, and he does the same act every night. The captain brings along his parrot to watch the act, and the parrot works out how he does his tricks. He's always spoiling it by saying, "The rabbit's in the hat," and he's using mirrors, etc. So the magician tries and tries to do more elaborate tricks, but the parrot always figures it out. One night there's a terrible storm, and the parrot and the magician end up in a lifeboat. And after ages of silence, the parrot says to the magician, "Okay, I give up. Where have you put the ship?" Let us know in the comments section if your mum has great tits. And if you could possibly write down her phone number, or direct us to the nearest toilet stall where that number would be. Finger the links on screen. More story time coming soon. See you next Tuesday.